Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about one of the brand new Tom Ford quads. This is part of the new Soleil Neige collection, their Winter Soleil collection for 2019. And this is the first of 3 videos that I'm going to be doing because they've released 3 new quads. And I thought I would just start with number 1. This is number 1 Soleil Neige. This is the quad that we'll be discussing today. So I'll be giving you some swatches of this quad. I'll be giving you my thoughts on this since I've had a couple days to spend with it and play with it. And I will also do a demo of this eye look for you at the end of this video. So I purchased this quad in person at the Neiman Marcus store. It retails for $88. And this quad is comprised of 4 of the wet dry formula that I love from Tom Ford. So all of these shadows can be worked dry or wet, and they're all very, very shimmery. So if you're someone that needs like a matte shade in their quad, this one and actually all of the quads that were released as part of this collection, they won't be for you because they all have this wet dry formula and they all are very, very shimmery and very, very glittery. So the look that I created today is just using shades from here. I didn't pull in any sort of matte shades or anything. And I think it looks fine. I know a lot of people are sticklers about, using mattes in their crease or making sure that they're, transitioning with mattes. I'm someone that doesn't really care. I can go either way. So I used all shimmers on my eyes today, which you can probably tell. So I've already done a whole kind of collection video for this new Soleil Neige collection, and I did some swatches of all the quads in that video, but I'm going to go ahead and do them again here for you. So let's take a look at some dry swatches of these 4 colors, and I went from left to right, top to bottom. And here are some wet swatches. And you can see that the wet swatches are a little bit more opaque. They're a little bit more intense, but I don't think that you need to use these shadows wet in order to get a beautiful effect. I just think that you're going to get a different effect using them wet as you would using them dry. So in my demo, I use all of the shadows dry. I feel like that is probably how I'm going to use these shadows more often than not. It's just easier and faster. And so I wanted to make sure I was able to demo them dry for you. So my thoughts on this quad, and this will be no surprise to you, especially if you know how much I enjoy this wet dry formula from Tom Ford, but I love, love, love this quad. I think it is so beautiful. I think it's perfectly aligned for like a winter Soleil collection. It's just perfect. Like the entire collection and including this quad, I just feel like is such a perfect, at least representation for me. If I were to kind of dream up an après ski kind of collection, this would be it. I love this color story. It's very cool toned, which I think is on trend. And I happen to do a fairly smoky look with this, and you'll see in my demo how easy and how fast it was to do this smoky look, which I know can be very intimidating for some, but I just used, some of the blue on the inner corner, some of the gunmetal gray on the outer corner, and I blended them together, and it was such a breeze. It was so, so easy. But because there's this really beautiful neutral taupe in here, I start off by brushing this all over the lid. And while this color is fairly similar to my skin tone, you can see the beautiful kind of like shimmer wet effect the shadow has. And if you just wanted to do like a one shadow look, this would be beautiful. Like all of these would be really beautiful. This would make quite a statement because it's so icy. I have that on the inner corners of my eyes here. You can actually see, I think the light's reflecting off of this one better. You can see how bright and white that color is. And I think it would be really beautiful, like lightly dusted over the lids. So even though this is just a quad, there's only 4 shadows in here, I think you can do quite a bit with this. So I'm a huge fan of this quad. Again, no real surprise. I just wanted to mention that I'm using one of the glow sticks on my lips. So this is the darker one, the Courchevel colorway, and I purchased this knowing full well that it was going to be too dark for me in terms of it being kind of like a cheek product. I could probably blend it out very, very sheerly and use it as a bronzer. And I thought, and actually one of you also commented, maybe I could use this on my lips. So I have this on my lips, and it's great. I really, really like it. And I know I just posted my favorite fall lips, but I think this is definitely a contender for this fall. It has a really nice, I don't know if you guys can see, a really nice kind of metallic sheen, a little bit of a frosty sheen, but it's not too much. and it goes on really, really nicely. It's just great. So I wanted to mention that. And then I have the Michele glow stick on my cheeks and as highlighter. So that's what you see. Of course, I'll have everything linked down below in my description box, but I just wanted to mention that before we jump into the demo. I do talk about it a little bit in the demo, but I did experience some fallout with these two darker shades. So I experienced it worse on one eye than the other, and I think it's because I didn't tap off my brush as diligently on the eye with more fallout than I did with the eye with less fallout. So I think as long as you don't have a lot of excess shadow on your brush, you won't experience that much fallout, but I think there will be some. So I would say either put your eyeshadow on before you do your makeup, or if you put a lot of loose powder down underneath your eyes, it'll kind of catch the fallout and you can kind of brush it all away, or you can use them wet. If you use them wet, you won't experience any fallout. So I just wanted to mention that. I will mention it again in the demo, but let's go ahead and jump right into the demo. All right, guys, I'm excited to get this eyeshadow onto my eyelids. I'm going to start with the taupey shade over here, and I've got my Chikuhodo GSN 07 brush. It is a very large eyeshadow brush. I just want to have like a really nice light wash of this color all over my lid. All right, so there's a nice light wash of that color. It's very, very close to my skin tone, so you can probably not see too much of it, but you will see the kind of satiny shimmery effect. I think it has a really pretty, almost like wet effect look. So that is the taupe all over my lids. Let's go ahead and move on to the smokier shades here, the navy and the gunmetal gray here. So what I want to do is use the navy kind of all over my lid, like the inner half, and then kind of blend it into the gunmetal gray. So we'll be doing a smoky look going from the navy to the gray. So I am going to start with my Blender Pro brush from Sonia G, and I'm going to go into this navy shade, and I'm going to apply this to the inner portion of my lid. Really beautiful pigmentation there. Now I'm going to take my Sonia G Worker 1 brush and I'm going to go into this gunmetal gray color, and I'm going to add this to the outer corner of my lid. I'm getting quite a bit of fallout. Just want to point that out to you. Quite a bit of fallout here on my cheeks. I'm going to try and sweep that away, but I already put makeup down, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. The fallout on this side was not as bad, and I tapped off my brush a little bit more diligently than this side. So maybe that's all you need to do, is just make sure you don't have too much excess eyeshadow on your brush before you start applying it. Well, I think that could have been one of the fastest, easiest smoky eye looks I've ever done. These shadows just apply themselves to your lid. They're so easy to work with. They just blend right in. I could not be happier. So I'm going to grab this big brush again. I'm just going to take some of that first taupe shade and just run it across the top. I just like to make sure everything is blended. I'm going to take my Esom W19 brush and I'm going to go into this white shade and add that to the corners of my eyes. All right, I'm going to finish up my eye look off camera and I will be right back. All right, so here is my completed look. I just added some mascara and some liner, and that is it. Of course, I'll have everything that's on my face down below in my description box, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I'll see you in my next video.